As we go into our Black History program today, it is called our Youth Day, and we had one on the 8th, and we had a great turnout, and I'm thankful that we got a great turnout today. Since it's Youth Day, our youth will be doing most of everything, so we want to support them in everything that they do. First of all, I want to start it off to have our youth just to stand up where you are right now. And that means youth from under 18, all the youth, please greet us. All the youth stand up. I mean, we have to support our youth in everything that they do, because we have set forth a blueprint for them. Let me go back and say that again. We as adults have set a blueprint for our youth. So when they go through to start their journey in this life, we must support them. We must have their backs. We must be with them where there's wrong or right. But if it's wrong, we have to correct them, because that's what we're supposed to do as adults if we follow the blueprint. You know, Martin Luther King done on his speech, and his daughter done his speech after his death, that says that Martin Luther King had set a blueprint for us to live by. Let me go back and say that again. There was a blueprint for us to live by that was set through Martin Luther King. So ask yourself, am I following the blueprint that was set before me? Not only with Martin Luther King, there was a blueprint set from our parents down to us, from their parents down to them. From generation to generation, there has been a blueprint set. So with this being Black History Month, let us stand on the blueprint that was set before us. If we understand the blueprint, we know where we came from, but we also know where we're going. Let me say that again. If we know where we came from, we know where we're going if we follow the blueprint. Black History Month is set aside for a reason. And that reason is for us to follow the blueprint and enlarge the blueprint as we go on. So ask yourself again, am I following the blueprint? Am I enlarging the blueprint? But we should never forget the original blueprint that was set before us. And that's why we celebrate Black History Month. Not only a month, we celebrate Black History 365. 24/7, we support Black history, and we represent our history through generations, from generations to generations. You know, it ain't about today's society that we're going through right now. It ain't about the blacks, the whites, the Hispanics, whatever. It's about being good, evil, and bad, rich and poor. We go back and say that again. It ain't about being black, it ain't about being white, it ain't about being Italian, whatever it may be. It's about good and bad, rich and poor. Think about it. So today we are here to set an example before generations that's coming after us, because we know the blueprint that has been set before us. So what kind of example or what kind of blueprint are we going to paint for the generations to come? As you saw the children stand up today here in this gymnasium, you know, we've got some here, but it should have been overrunning with youth here today. So we have to support our youth in everything that we do. Through this program today, we hope that there is questions that are answered. We have to understand and let our youth understand that the problems that they're going to face in years to come, are we going to give them correct, on a blueprint, are we going to give them the correct drawing, the correct measurements to reach, to achieve that blueprint that is set before them? And with our panel that's here today, I hope that we've got a panel that will be able to, panel raise your hand, that would be able to lead our youth today. Not only them, but we as Warren County people, we have to guide our youth through today. So with that being said, I've said enough. We're going to start the program with an opening prayer. And our opening prayer is going to be from one of our youths. And his name is Callan Trim.
Dear Heavenly Father, we gather today to celebrate the rich history and vibrant culture of our Black community. We thank you for the resilience, creativity, and strength of those who came before us, who paved the way for our freedom and opportunities. As we honor their legacy, we ask for your guidance and wisdom for our youth. Help us to understand our destiny, embrace our heritage, and recognize the power within ourselves to affect positive change. May we learn from the struggles of the past, drawing inspiration from the leaders and heroes who stood bravely for justice and equality. Lord, instill in us a spirit of unity and purpose. Help us to uplift one another, fostering friendships that celebrate diversity and inclusivity. May we be motivated to pursue our dreams and strive for greatness, knowing that we are part of a larger story that is still being written. We pray for your strength, courage, and hope that we navigate our journeys. May we always feel your presence guiding within us. And may we continue to honor those who fought for our rights. In your name we pray. Amen.
High school today, the choir is here today, some of them, and they have to leave immediately after this, the songs that they're going to do because they have a basketball game tournament they're doing in Shelbyville. So now I'm going to turn it over to the hands of the Warren County High School Choir. lunch. We're gonna have a guy named Caleb? Yeah. Caleb, let's give Caleb a hand sign. On the 8th, Caleb was here playing with Tommy Free and the Sex Guy. So as we get ready to go further on into our program, we want to give Caleb another hand clap of praise for what he's done. I'm going to ask, and I call him Mr. Ray, but I'm going to ask Ray to come up and introduce his wife.
I met my wife about 36 years ago. We met at a graveyard. It was a blind date here, and we joke about it all the time. She said we met at the graveyard, and when we separated, we'll separate at the graveyard as well. We've been married for 33 years. It's been a journey. It's been a good one. She's, I could say, one of the smartest person I know in my world. I've got a son that's pretty smart, but what attracted me to her is how smart she really is. She don't like to let a lot of people know it, but she's a very intelligent lady. She makes my world a whole lot easier for me because of the things that she do for me. She graduated from Riverdale High School in Murfreesboro. And if you know anything about Murfreesboro, Riverdale and Oakland are rivalries. They had each other. I'm gonna say one don't like the other no more than the other like the other one, but Riverdale is supposed to be one of the biggest, powerful football schools in Murfreesboro. Last 2 years, she's been working on degrees. She got her associate, and I thought that's what all was going on. Hey, that's great. I like my mom. My mom got her GED when she was about 50, 55, 56 years old. She was bound to go to school to get her education once all her kids graduated and left home. And she reminded me of her mom. She started school, college about a couple of years ago. She got her associate degree, and I thought after that we'd be off and traveling and enjoying retirement. But she decided to go back to school. I think she's working on her bachelor's degree, and all the husbands. It's good. It's good. But I'm her guinea pig, you know. Like I said, in a lot of her classes that she goes through, I sit there and we talk about and discuss them, and all of it I don't know a whole lot about, but I sit there and listen to them. She's an amazing person. She loves school. She loves kids. She likes helping people. I'm glad to be her husband. I will present her as my wife, my loving wife, my Roddy Dodd, my partner in crime, my lover, and my friend, my wife, Barbara, and Nikki.
So, Barbara, he done you well. He done you good, girl. He done you good. So, well, as she comes forth, you know, I'm going to say to me, she is a sister from another mother. That's what she is to me. When we first met, and I have to tell this story, which her sister is my sister-in-law. And so I walked in down at Sonora's house one day, and who are you, she said. I'm thinking, well, who are you? But she said, I said, I'm Sonora's sister-in-law. Oh, really? I was like, okay. I said, well, what went on between Sonora and my brother was between Sonora and my brother. She's still my sister-in-law. She said, oh, okay. And that's how she just said, she just kind of just. That's how it happened, and we've been sisters ever since. So now, Miss Barbara, will you come forward?
forgot my glasses, so my eyes are just, I have allergies, seriously. But Miss Ella, thank you so much. I appreciate the invitation. I never would have imagined 2 years ago that I would be standing up here, but she invited us to come, and my sisters and I, we came and had a good time, and the next thing I know, 2 years later, I'm getting a phone call. She wanted me to come and speak. She talked about the youth. I am honored to know. I can't help but to call her Miss Ella, and I told her it's a term of endearment. I don't mean to disrespect her at all. She's very involved in the community, and you all should be super proud of her because she does a lot of work. And I told my sisters, I said, we have to support her because she's always, all it takes is a phone call. Most of you probably know this. Call her, and if she can do it, if she can be there, she will be there. So I appreciate you, Miss Ella. I'm giving you your flowers now. I really appreciate your friendship. You're just an awesome woman of God. I won't be before you long. Kind of set it up when she asked me to come. I'm like, as my husband was saying, she wanted to come and talk to the youth, kind of encourage the youth about education. You're getting ready to graduate from high school. So when I'm talking, my conversation is towards students and the young adult. But if you were like me a few years ago, I didn't, when I graduated in 1985, I was done with school. I was like, 13 years is enough. And I say 13 because they said I had to repeat kindergarten, okay? I'm gonna tell them because they said I wasn't mature enough because I was very, very shy growing up. So if you have children that deal with that, they'll grow out of it, trust me. But I was very shy in kindergarten. They was like, well, she has to repeat. And I'm sitting there sucking on my thumb, looking at the teacher like, okay, whatever. So yeah, that's why I said 13 years was enough. So everybody say that because parents to your kids, every high school graduate is not going to want to go to college right out of high school. You may think about honoring that. I don't know how you deal with it, but it's reality. Your graduating seniors may not decide that they want to go to high school. Give them some grace. Hear them out. I waited until I was in my 50s to go back to school, and we'll talk about some of this. And yes, I got my associates, but it was a dream. Today is all about a dream, right? Martin Luther King gave the speech that I have a dream. Well, I had a dream in my heart. I wanted to go to college, but just not right out of high school because I was sick of going to school. So later in life, that dream that was embedded in my heart, I acted upon it at the age of 52, and I went back to school. And so now I'm very proud of my age, but I say it to let people see that you're never too old. You're always young enough to do whatever you want to do. I'll be turning 59 this year, and I'm just now working towards my bachelor's. So when Miss Ella called me and was wanting some information about higher education and talking and encouraging students, and I'm like, Miss Ella, I've got some friends and some co-workers. We're talking doctorates and masters. We've got some people that can come and support and talk to these youth. And I asked my co-workers, I asked them one time, and they said yes. And they're here, and I'm going to introduce them later. But we are here to encourage all of you. Doesn't matter your age. If you want to go back to school, it is possible. So Martin Luther King had a dream. My question to you is, do you have a dream? You don't have to answer. I'm just asking. So just think about it. Do you have a dream? My other question is, have you actually read Martin Luther King's speech? I know we've heard it. We probably watched the video. But have you read that speech? If you haven't, I encourage you to go back and read it. There was 3 things when I read that speech that jumped out to me. First of all, again, it's all about the dream, right? He had a dream. The first thing about that dream is that you have a dream. One of the things he said he said, don't wallow or don't be discouraged. What are you talking about, Barbara? So this is Black History Month, right? It hasn't always been easy for African Americans to go to school. Black History Month, it branches out now because it's not all about just Black history. It's a whole lot of history where you can easily get discouraged. And what Martin Luther King was telling us, he had a dream, we have a dream. It's all about getting an education, and if you have a dream of getting that education, things happen in life, other than you choosing not to seek an education, things may happen. Life happens, right? We know that, life happens. So if life happens and you can't find the funds, or you think there's no funds for it or whatever, don't get discouraged. Don't be in despair. Get up off your butt. Seek out some information, because you can get a whole lot of encouragement and information today. Do your work. Do what Martin Luther King did. He did the work, right? The man went through a lot for us just to be able to get an education. That ought to be encouragement enough just to want to get an education. Where in life do you want to get that education? It's never too late. The second thing he said in his speech, he said, don't be satisfied. And that's where I was. Like I said, I didn't want to go right out of school, but I wasn't satisfied that I really hadn't gone back and got that education. He says, don't be satisfied. He said, we cannot be satisfied, and think about this as a people, we cannot be satisfied as long as, we can't vote. There was a lot of things that we could not do that he was speaking to about being satisfied, but from an educational standpoint, don't be satisfied. If you want to get that education, you've got to get out there and do something to get that education. So don't just be satisfied with the whole hum and accepting what society attempts to hand you, because you don't have to accept it. Your dream and the success of it is up to you. You can let people hold you back all you want to. It's your responsibility. It's your responsibility to get out there and seek out. First of all, find that dream. I know every one of you in here, you have a dream. You need to find it. And you don't need to get discouraged when you start trying to pursue your dream, education, whatever it is, business, whatever it is. Don't get discouraged. Keep going. Keep finding the sources. He said we would never be satisfied. He said that 3 times. He said we cannot be satisfied. Said that twice. He said we are not satisfied and we will not be satisfied. So he was just encouraging us. Just don't settle, people. Don't settle when your education and your life and your dream. Do not settle. Go for what you want. Martin Luther King did a lot. That man took a lot for us. Talk to your children about what Martin Luther King went through and the people that were around him. He fought, his life, he gave his life for us to be able to get an education and just to be equal, just to be equal, right? Think about what he gave just so that we can have the opportunity to have jobs, to be on a job, to not to be discriminated against. It's a whole lot that goes into, Martin Luther King's speech. It's a whole lot that goes into that. So don't have a dream. Do you have a dream? It's all about the dream. Go after your dream. Don't be discouraged when things don't go your way. Just keep trying. Isn't that right? Keep trying. You'll get there. You will get there. There's a lot of things you can do. You don't want to go back and get your education. You can help. You can volunteer. My husband's retired. He's finding things to do instead of just sitting at home. He's gotten to the point now that he wants to get out into the community and do things. He's finding things because I tell him this all the time. Get up off your butt and go find, you're good, you're talented. Go find what it is that you like to do and do it. Go for it. The third thing that stood out, he talked about our character, the character. He said, now I need these glasses, Miss Ella. These are Miss Ella's glasses. He said, I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by what? The color of their skin, but they will be judged how? The content of their character. Y'all read it. All right, that made me feel good. and talking about the character, we're talking positive character, courage, integrity, trustworthiness, respect, courtesy, responsibility, fairness, caring, good citizenship, and most of all for me, gratitude. Learn to be grateful. And you're thinking, well, what does all of this have to do with education? It's all about representing you. You represent yourself. But under the shell, think about Martin Luther King, but most of all, think about Jesus Christ, right? You want to go out and represent in a positive way. You don't just want to be out there all willy-nilly. Have some integrity about yourself. Carry yourself like you're proud to be who you are, your family. Think about your family and your grandparents and what they went through. Have some respect for yourself and have respect for others. In high school, I was not a rowdy kid. I was called what they call back then swear, all this. You don't like, I was a very intentional. I was intentional and I'm still intentional about being respectful to my elders, to my co-workers, to my friends, to anyone I encounter. So he talked about that character. Think about it. All this wrapped up in just having a dream. He had a dream. He says that over and over in that speech. So I just want to encourage you, and my friends, we came here today to encourage you, bring it all back into education. But it's a lot that goes around education. Yes, I'm trying to get that bachelor's, and I'll tell y'all, I'm so sick of homework. Every week, papers after paper after paper after paper. And I'm saying this for a reason, because if you get into it, you got to dedicate yourself to it, right? Dedication. On that note, it's been a whole lot of dedication going on over here, because these ladies and gentlemen, they are where I hope to be someday. These are my friends. They came to answer some questions, an awesome panel. Like I said, if you want to ask some questions, ask questions. That's what they're here for. I know I said a whole lot in a little bit of time, but I think I said enough. When you go home and think about it, I'm sure I said something that might stick with you, maybe and maybe not. But these guys came, we're going to try to get you some information. But do you have a dream? When you ask your questions, do you have a dream? What's your dream? Everybody think about it in your head. What's your dream? What's your question you want to ask? Not me. Wait till I introduce. Because we want you to ask questions. We've got representation here for adult education. If you want to go back to school in your adult age, senior age, we have people that can answer those questions as well. But I hope I said something to encourage you all. I know I said a lot, but I hope I said something to encourage you. So what I want to do right now, let me see, there was a note I had at the bottom of my paper. Yes, it's all about your dream, and what I want to encourage you, this is something that helps me. Somebody said this to me years ago, and it has stuck with me. You have that dream. I know you do. Martin Luther King, so that his speech will not have been in vain. It's up to every one of us to try to do something. I'm not saying try to be famous. I'm saying try to do something every day. that this man's speech will not be in vain. So, I had an elder person tell me one time, she said, if the Lord allows you to wake up, she said, I want you to get up, I want you to dress up, and I want you to show up. And you show up in full integrity, knowing that the things that people see from us, it means a lot. We have it tough. I was really, when I was going over the speech and I'm thinking about what's going on in Washington right now, I was like, Mr. King, he knew. That's why he told us don't get discouraged. Because he knew. The man was very smart, very intelligent. He knew. So, get up, dress up, and show up for whatever your dream is. I know you all have dreams. We're going to give you some information to help you follow those dreams. Take this information home and think about it, ponder on it, and when we come back next year, somebody's going to be in school. I know they are. I know they will be. So my friends that came to help me today is none other than Dr. Erica Lee, Miss Yolanda Beverly Pierce. I always get it. We have Dr. Yaritza Gote. And we have Mr. Eric Murray, who was so excited to come back. He was here on the 8th, and he decided to come back and help us out.
So our youth today, and the youth that's getting ready to come up, is our Black Student Union from Warren County High School. And they are going to be the ones that are going to ask the panel the questions today. And if I'm not mistaken, all y'all graduate this year? I'm not going to try to introduce them because I know I'm going to get the names wrong. But I'm going to, who's president? Okay, so you're going to introduce your team, okay?
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Cariel Patillo. I'm the president of the Black Student Union Council at Warren County High School.
Hi, I'm Kiara Kirchwell. I'm the secretary of BSU. I'm Ashlyn Terry. I'm vice president.
I'm Jill Patel. I'm the treasurer for Black Student Union.
So with that being said, here is our history right here, right now. So I say to the youth board that's here right now, that y'all going to graduate this year, make your history. We know that we've got one that she's made her history in dancing. I almost had to dance today, but I take it mine. But, and cheer. So we know that she's got a history, she's got a dream, she's got hope. Hope, every one of y'all got hopes and dreams. And today with the information that you're going to get, the information is there for you to use, so use it. So to start this out, I want to ask the first question to our panel. So the first question that I want to ask the panel today, so we can get it started, so they can kind of see what's going on here. What role does educational and VOTEC training play in increasing opportunities for African Americans and the labor force? Anyone of the members of the panel can answer that.
Hello, my name is Eric Murray. At Marlowe, I am the Adult Initiatives Program Manager. And if you ever sit on the panel with a bunch of women, they're going to tell you what to do. So I'm going to do it. But I do work with some industry, and I work with, also work with high schoolers, preparing them for college. And I think the question was, how can education invoke education, help African Americans in today's society? I think that's the question. So, especially in the state of Tennessee, the state of Tennessee has a couple programs where you can go from high school to college, and the first 2 years are free, or you can get a certificate for free or tuition free. And you might have to pay some fees, but majority of the tuition is going to be paid for. And so from cosmetology to welding to electrician, HVAC, mechatronics, nursing, you can get a degree for free, right? It's not all the way free, but mostly for free. So for a lot of us, went to school, right? We got college degrees, but a lot of us also took out a lot of loans. And, well, I'll speak for myself. Took out a lot of loans, and I still owe some loans. And I'm in a program. They're going to be repaid at some point in time, right? But what I'm saying is, you can go to college without the loans and get a degree, which you can start making money, which that's the economic impact that you can have for yourself, right? Now, so yeah, that's the way that I would answer that question. Go to school and you can get it for free. The question is, though, as Ms. Barber says, what do you want to go to school for, or what do you want to learn? And what education do you want to get? And that's the question that you have to answer for yourself. Because there's a lot of programs out there that you can't get for what? For free. Now, I want you to understand that for free, right? So, it's out there. Anybody else?
How have historical labor moments in the United States impacted the current state of African American labor rights?
You know, at some point in time, if we think about it, we're talking about Martin Luther King, right? And what Martin Luther King died for. And matter of fact, what he was protesting and marching for when he died in Memphis. He was protesting for the sanitation workers in Memphis to get better conditions for sanitation workers. There was a sanitation worker that died back with a garbage truck. And so they were fighting for better conditions, better wages. And even now, it's not just black and white. You know, it's as we were saying earlier, it's more than just black and white. But you have right now it's a better, minimum wage, that's even higher. There's economic opportunity that you could get for yourself as far as job, house, business loans, and there's ways that you can use some of these labor laws that can go in for yourself and to better yourself. And we have to understand a lot of that. And a lot of that, even myself don't really understand, but that's where you get mentors and you talk to folks and you ask questions, even on this panel.
And I'd like to add to that, instead of addressing the labor rights, since Mr. Eric Murray has done that, I'd like to switch that up and talk about the education rights of African Americans. Mr. Murray was talking about the sanitation workers that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. fought for. There was a woman that fought alongside him, and her name was Maxine Smith. Maxine Smith lived in Memphis, and she fought for the rights of African Americans to attend colleges and universities in the state of Tennessee. Did you know that at once upon a time we were not allowed to attend colleges and universities in the state? Predominantly white institutions, that is. So Maxine Smith, who was also fighting for the sanitation workers, fought for African Americans to be able to attend any college or university in the state of Tennessee.
Who are some African American labor leaders who have made significant contributions to the labor movement, and what can we learn from their stories?
Of course, I'm gonna go with Abe Philip Randolph with the Pullman Porters. And even today, as you go down, there's it's an author. I can't his name is slipping my mind, but he wrote a book on the Black Wealth. Reginald Lewis, he was a businessman, and I think he did food business, but he made a lot of money, right? Bob Johnson, who owned BET at one point in time. So there's a lot of historical black figures that did a lot, not just in education, but in business also.
What are some barriers that African Americans face in the labor market today, and how does that compare to those faced in the past?
Let's talk about DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. People want to eliminate the discussion of DEI. They don't really know what it means. So for African Americans, and I'm speaking from personal experience, we've had to work harder than anyone else. Thus, the reason I went to college to earn a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, and then a doctorate degree. The presence of diversity, equity, and inclusion has allowed people who look like me to be in certain positions. Although we earned the degree, had DEI not been in place, we would not have been awarded those positions. Although we've earned them, okay? DEI is more than just about race, it's about gender. People don't realize women's rights fall under DEI. Accessibility for the disabled falls under DEI. So those are some of the things that as young people you all should fight for, because it's not just about who we are as African Americans or who we are as men or women or any other thing that falls under that category. Those are things that these are the things that we need to fight for now. People of the past fought for these same things for us, affirmative action, things like that. They fought for the same things that we are fighting for today.
And the questions too, it goes back to, the core of it is down to the character. Companies, the laws have been set and they're in place, and some of them are being challenged now. That's why you have to educate yourself. You have to carry yourself, like I say, with character, because you can't stop it. All you can do is attack it and challenge it from a positive perspective. Employers, you have good employers. You have companies that out there that fight for and support diversity. But I can't say that it's gone, because it's not, but it's better. So you just have to get out there and know who you are, stand up for your rights. Again, that Martin Luther King, your grandparents, your parents, stand up for yourself on these jobs. But you have to have some education, you have to have the qualifications, get in there, learn what it takes, learn what these companies are looking for, and be that to the best that you can. And if you find that it's not in this company, don't stop, don't settle. Keep moving, keep moving. It's the United States, what Martin Luther King fought for us, all those rights, affirmative action, as we talk, it's there. It's being challenged to the core, but it's in place to protect African Americans, Hispanic, I don't care what race you are. It's there. You just have to know what you know and stand up for what you know.
How have key pieces of legislation such as Civil Rights Acts or the Fair Labor Standards Act, shape the employment landscape for African Americans?
It has provided equal opportunity for just people in general, but we still have to fight harder than any other race, I feel personally, because of not just being a woman, but being an African American woman. Not only having a high school education, but also having those degrees behind your name, or having to fight harder to get into a position that you desire. The man may get paid 30% more just because of him being a male versus me being a woman. So having to fight harder, even though they have these rights now where you can actually go in if you feel discriminated against and possibly sue if you feel that way. But if you want more, you have to fight more. And I feel like that's something that we're going to have to be challenged with probably until the end of time.
Discuss the economic disparities that still exist for African Americans in the workforce, including wage gaps and employment rates.
I think as Yolanda put it before, right, we're always in this place as minorities, that it doesn't matter the degree that you have, the color of your skin sometimes when you come in, will dictate those salary wages and how they're going to look at you and are you going to be in. Even when you go to interviews, you never know if you're going to get the job. That's why I think, degree up, right? And because that's the only way that we found sometimes, even in the educational world, that we can make that movement. Because we have to stand above some other degrees and kind of struggle for it, for what we got. And I say, as a minority, keeping yourself abreast of everything that's going on. Read a lot. Staying ahead and competing and never looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, I am less than, right? Because at the end of the day, when you go in there, you've got to have that confidence that you can stand right beside them, know exactly what they're saying, what their knowledge is. I have to. And so I think my encouragement for high schoolers is when you're going in there, seek all the opportunities that you can at the college level, right? Being the president, vice president, treasurer, secretary of the Black Student Union, going into those colleges and getting into a club or an organization that is going to ramp up that resume when you get out. Seeking those internship or those opportunities in order to grow and say yes to many things that people are going to launch you into. Because I work with a lot of the student organizations at Montville State Community College, and the first thing I do, well, this year the landscape of my students in the student government has changed a lot. I have a lot of minorities in it where it didn't exist, right? And so you have to bring those opportunities to students. I went through a lot of things. I'm in a position where I'm going to bring my students and train them in leadership positions and for them to not fear to move forward just because of the color of their skin.
So I know you all thinking we keep going back to education, but if you've been on a job, you guys kind of can know. Some jobs require just an associate's, all this economic disparity. Companies, wages and all that, it's tied to the level of education. They have their qualifications. You can look at any job, pull up and look at job descriptions. So when you go into these companies like Nissan, all these factors, it's tied to there's certain qualifications. They have systems now that they put applications through. They look for certain, it's trending for certain information, certain qualifications. What I'm trying to say is you're gonna go in at certain levels, entry level, intermediate level, then there's, higher levels. Each one of those levels has an education grade tied to it. So we're talking high school education, some college, 4-year college. It depends on the qualifications and those salaries and all that is tied to that. So where do you want to be in that company? You can't go into a company that's requiring just a minimum, a 2-year college degree, where all you have is I just have a high school education. Well, I can't go in there expecting to make what someone with a 2-year degree makes. So I see where the question is going, but the workforce has set itself up. They need certain things, and President Obama, when he was in office, he pushed the 2-year college. He made it popular again, because a lot of people look down on the 2-year college. But an associate's degree, you know, that's minimum now. It used to be a high school education or a GED. So again, you have to do your homework. You got to do that homework. What do you want to do? Get on that path and find out what it takes to get where you want to go to make the kind of money that you want. Because once you get in that company, and I didn't say that before, but all of us work for Motlow, right? But we're at different levels. In Motlow, each job, it requires a certain level of education. So you've got it from the associates all the way up to the doctorate. Find whatever the company is, find out what the qualifications are, for that salary or whatever it is that you're looking for. Homework.
The other thing I would say is, yes, there's legislations, and yes, there's policies, and there's degrees, and there's certificates, but one of the major things is you want to know your worth. You want to know what you're worth. You also can have your dollar amount in hand of what you want to be paid, right? And it has to be reasonable to what the work is going to be done, right? So, and then what my brother says too is, who doesn't have a degree, is very smart, works hard, makes more money than me in what he does, but that's neither here nor there. He says, what you get, what you negotiate for. So if you go into the job offer, or they offer you a job and they offer you a salary, but you can still negotiate that, and not just a salary, but any kind of work that you do, business that you do, what you're going to sell. Know your worth, and you get what you negotiate for.
How has African American culture influenced labor movements and workplace in the United States?
I think it really just depends on where you are in the United States. There's a lot of culture at this table, a lot of African American culture at this table. I'm a graduate of Spelman College, which is a historically black college.
And I attended Alcorn State University in Norman, Mississippi, which is a HBCU as well.
Y'all see it.
Sit down.
And see, so we say, I know the question is talking about the labor law, but just African Americans, the culture that we brought to America in general. Go ahead, Eric. It's unmatched, right? America would not be America without African American culture.
So as Ms. Barbara sitting over here saying, the culture gives, let me see how to say this. We're trendsetters. Let's just say that. Our culture is a trendsetter. Everyone wants to imitate what they see in the African American culture, right? We can use the workplace as an example. Sometimes people advance in different opportunities, whether it's education or position or a new house, or, you've heard keeping up with the Joneses, right? Sometimes that influences people as well. And it makes people, in my opinion, want to be better. Because as I mentioned earlier, we're gonna work harder so that we can earn those opportunities, not in say so that they can be given to us, but so that we can earn those opportunities. Others see us working hard. They may not admit it, but they see us working hard and they want to do the same thing, or they want to have the same thing.
I would be considered Hispanic in the United States, but in the Caribbean, I'm considered Afro-Caribbean. And I think the African culture not only was blended here, but also was blended in Latin America, right? Because slaves were brought in for the sugar cane plantations. And so our culture in Puerto Rico is very, very much has a lot of influence and culture from Africa. And to this day, we still have the beautiful dances that the African culture brought. We still know that we were a blend of three. Sometimes I come here to the United States and I say, people here think that they are a blended country, but they're not. This is more like a tossed salad. Everybody's there, we're all tossed together. But in the Caribbean, the African culture really blended in. So we don't see each other by color in Puerto Rico, we're just Puerto Ricans. But we very much know who we are because we're taught from elementary school what our roots were, from the African roots to the Taino roots, which is our indigenous people that live there, and our Spaniard roots, right? The United States came just in 1898, so they came very late. We were already blended, and we knew who we were. So I very much thank the African culture that came into our Caribbean because they did leave a lot of influence there. So I encourage you to visit and have some fun.
How do factors such as gender, class, and immigration status intersect with race to affect the experiences of African American workers?
So again, I'm just going to speak from experience. The two major companies that I worked for, one was HCA, Healthcare Corporation of America, the other being Motlow. So these questions are kind of like in the box to me. So because I'm one of these people, I think outside the box. It's so much going on with DEI right now. It's not really just, the focus is not really just on being African American. We've got this gender, it's a whole lot going on in the workplaces right now. Being African American it's kind of gone from the top, it's kind of like either in the middle going lower. So companies and they have workers in there that they have so much to deal with now. It's just not really focusing on the color of the skin. I had good vibes I worked for HCA for 16 years in the IT department. The company, and I was telling Miss Ella about this. So my experience is just being Black, African, and African American woman. I was able to advance because they saw me for who I was and what I could do. They saw that this lady is a go-getter, and I was promoted over and over. They would come to me. I had managers come to me saying, hey, you should think about coming to this department because I got in the company and I applied self. I let them see who they're dealing with. So what we're trying to tell you is don't just keep focusing on the color of the skin. If you let people see you and what you can do, yes, we're Black, we're white, whatever color we are, but a lot of companies now get with the right company, because I'm not saying, again, that it's not out there, but show who you are. Mr. Murray said, show who you are, show your worth. companies, managers want to see who you are. A lot of them look past the color of the skin. Don't get so caught up. Don't go into the workplace getting caught up on the color. Yes, it's there, but go in there showing them this. What's in your mind. Don't get caught up on the color of the skin. I just feel like
You know, when the question says what the emerging trends in the workforce, I mean, at this point, everything is technology, right? And so every trend is going to have a pathway towards technology. I think McMinnville right now is in a great place because the campus over here at Montville State is about to open electrical vehicle major, which is one of the things that is going to be huge in the future, right? And so I think for every person, no matter the color of your skin, it's going and being in those spaces, right, where you get those opportunities and vamp your resume, but also looking at what are the new jobs out there that are coming up that are going to be paying the salary that you're looking for without having to be there forever. Because, you know, the youth of these days don't want to be here for, you know, go to college and be there forever, right? So what are those trending jobs? Look at those job search. Look at what's out there. Mechatronics is big. Electrical vehicle, those batteries and how to put them in, those are big. And so McMinnville right now is sitting in one of those spaces where a lot of industry is going to be coming in and training the students. So think outside the box from teacher or doctor or nursing, right? And then you don't like it because that's not what you wanted to do. But look at other spaces, other majors that you haven't heard about. Go and visit the college and see what you really like, right? Because it's a ceiling that we can't go to with the majors that are coming out. But the students that are in rural communities sometimes don't have that kind of exposure, right? But that's what the internet is for, to expose them to different things that might be out there. So instead of looking on YouTube on who's trending right now and who's telling you like things that are not true, why don't you look at jobs that are out there and majors that are going to bring you the salary that you're looking for?
And one other area Montville is expanding is in distillery. So they're partnering with Nearest Green. You know, it was something because it was brought to the heads of them that it was something of interest. So as far as training, they have that mechatronics program that Nissan has invested. They're actually bringing out one of the electric cars. So it's a lot going on. Again, she said it, think outside the box a little bit. What do you want to do? You got to figure that out first. Where's your passion? What's your dream? And then research in that area. I was IT. That was my thing. So I got with a company that, you know, I started with medical billing, but once you get to medical billing, well, it was so much IT built around medical billing, it just blew my mind, and that's where I went for it, you know. I didn't care about the color of my skin. I'm trying to get where I'm trying to go. You see what I'm saying? It's all in what you want, you know. Think outside the box. You know what's trending now. See, do your research. But like you said, be careful what you listen to. But you got to know what you want to go search for what it is and what's required.
Now I'll ask the round table if y'all have anything else that you could put out for our youth here today. The answers have been great. So with that being said, thank you for what y'all done today. So if there's anything that any of y'all want to say now at this time, the floor is open.
I have one more thing. Young people, read. You have to read. Okay? You can't do anything without reading. So you have to read. So if you don't like to read, sorry. It's a part of life. Please read.
You're not gonna be young always, so enjoy the moment because you're gonna grow old and you're gonna be like, I remember the time when. So take advantage of every opportunity. If you finish your degree and you feel like doing something else, do that something else. And don't feel like it's okay. But if you make a mistake, that's okay too. Try something different. I started out with a passion. I went to school for business administration, and I'm doing something totally outside of my degree. And that's working with people, serving others. So find out what your passion is and go for it.
What does she mean they can't be young forever, right? And so, no, I won't take that one. Take all their other advice, but live with integrity. You want to advocate for your rights when the time comes, live with integrity. Call what's right, and what's wrong, wrong. Because when you live with integrity, when you follow the rules, then you can call on people and say, I did this, this, and that, and I did things with integrity, so I don't know what you're talking about when you call me on. And so live with integrity, call right what's right, wrong what's wrong, and get involved. As I told you, build up your resume with leadership talents, right? That will make you stand out from the crowd. Don't be a crowd pleaser. Martin Luther King wasn't.
All right. What I would add to that is be the best you that you can be. And be the best you that you can be. Don't be me, don't be somebody else. The goal is to be the best you that you can be. And you find out if you can be 1% better every day, if you keep trying, and I think that's the goal. And Dr. Lee said it great, best reading. And if you don't like reading, you do audiobooks, like I do. Let's put an audiobook on and I go down the road, and you can learn a whole lot. Yeah. So thank you guys for allowing us to come and talking. So it's been a pleasure.
I know it's been a long program, but it's been a very educational program as far as getting your information. So with that being said, before we get ready to end our program, I would like for Young Men United to come up, please. As you see this group that is here, with Young Men United, and then I'll let Nikki introduce the Black History Museum. Young Men United was established in 1998 in the basement of our founder, Nelson Ramsey here, and we set a goal. So we've been into effect for 25 years, and our goal was to build character within our youth. And I'm hoping and praying that our youth can see that's our goal and that's what we're doing for Warren County. So with that being said, on behalf of our panel here, we thank you. On behalf of YMU, we thank you so much for coming and educating not only our youth, but Warren County all together. Okay?
I want to thank our panelists and our guest speaker for a very informative program today. Unlike Young Men United, we have almost a diverse mission statement at the Black History Museum. We're really immersed in our history, the history of Warren County, but we also realize that youth are part of our future, and we do a valiant effort of trying to get our youth involved in our programs also. And today's event is just another example of how you can have a diverse mission statement, but you can come together to do good things. So we really enjoy working with Young Men United, and we will continue to work with Young Men United to make Warren County a better place. We have a slight token for our guest speaker today. I heard a little birdie tell me something from our first program. I hope it wasn't true. Ms. Barbara, if you come up, please. We had presented Eric with a little gift at our first session, and we're going to do something a little bit different for Miss Barbara today. So, from the Black History Museum of Warren County, Tennessee, thanks again, and come back to see us. And come to our museum.